Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Sienna here with a brand new video. First video of the new year, 2025. Happy friggin' New Year's, by the way. I'm excited for what this year has in store for me, and I hope that it has great things in store for you. I thought it would be cool to do some January 2025 predictions. Now, I did do some 2025 predictions on my channel before, a little bit towards the end of December, I think, but that was just a very basic general look. It was like 3 things that Spirit wanted you to know that was coming in 2025, but you know what? I thought it would be more fun to go month by month and get more in-depth predictions. And so that's what we're doing. So we got pile 1 with the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, pile 2 with the One World Tarot, and pile 3 with the Housewives Tarot. Now, if you want to know where the One World Tarot is from, well, it was actually co-authored by myself and a brilliant reader named Lena Rodriguez and illustrated by Alexandra Filipek. The links to where you can find it are in the description. And if they're not in the description, I will make sure that they're in at least a pinned comment or something like that. If you like my bracelets, they are courtesy of Otter Spirit, and you can find the link to their shop in the description as well. But anyway, enough of that. We're going to just jump right in to the predictions. Okay, so I'm sure you've picked your pile. Let's go. All right, so pile 1, or group 1, whatever you want to call it, if you chose the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot with this pretty little quartz crystal, then this is going to be the reading that's meant for you. These are going to be your January 2025 predictions. I'm going to start off a little bit different than I usually do. Usually I just go right into the tarot and then, you know, get more info from there and then do the oracle cards. I feel like we're going to do oracle cards this time. I love that. I haven't even shuffled these yet. I love that it says a new start is coming right there on the bottom. I love it. Okay, but let's keep, you know, we'll keep this new start card in mind. I'm sorry. It's not like it's funny, but it just, if any of you watch Arrested Development or have seen Arrested Development, you'll know why I'm laughing at a new start. I don't know why that just popped into my head. Excuse me. But, all right, let's just shuffle these up. Let's get, oh, okay, we'll keep that. That fell out. Emotions are running high with Supermoon. Now, keep in mind, I'm not actually an astrologer, but I just love these cards so much. A client years ago had sent them to me, and they're beautiful, and I've just been in love with this deck ever since. We got emotions are running high. Okay, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Okay, and adjustments are required. Okay, I see what's happening here. Okay, emotions are running high and adjustments are required. There needs to be some kind of change, I think, in your personal routine in the month of January. And there's something about the energy of this month that just, I think, allows for an easier transition into these adjustments. So let's just say, for example, an example Spirit's giving me is your sleep. Okay, and honestly, Spirit is calling me TF out with this one. Because, yeah, me and going to bed on time don't always agree. Anyway, sometimes when we are sleep deprived or, you know, we just aren't getting enough rest or enough quality rest, that can really, really screw with our emotions. You know, everything just feels worse when you're tired, right? Your sadness feels worse, your irritability feels worse, your, like, other kinds of pains and stuff feel worse, and all of that just kind of just comes together to make a great big shit sandwich. Pardon my language, but for some reason, that is just what came to mind. And Spirit's saying you can't keep doing this to yourself. It's just not feasible. It's not going to work. You've been running on fumes. A lot of you guys who chose this one, you've been running on fumes, and perhaps you're like sleeping the bare minimum. Perhaps you're just eating the bare minimum. You know, maybe you just haven't had much of an appetite lately, or maybe it's the other way around. Perhaps, you know, maybe you've been indulging a bit too much. Sometimes we stress eat, or, you know, we what is the word I'm looking for? We comfort eat or we eat when we seek comfort. Anyways, there's something like this that's out of balance with the sleep, with the diet. We just need to work on, oh, okay, interesting. So I was just about to ask Spirit, what did we like need to do to make the adjustments? And we just need to work on adding things to our existing routine instead of eliminating things. You know, often we hear people say, oh, I cut out gluten, I cut out sugar, I cut out dairy, and you know what, that's okay. You know, for some people that is the solution and it is what works best for them. But Spirit's saying in this case, we don't have to do anything so extreme this month. We just need to add, okay, I'm seeing instead of going to sleep at 2 a.m. and getting up at 8, we add an extra hour of sleep just for the first few days. You know, okay, well, it's 1 o'clock. I better just put my phone away, or I better put my Switch away, or whatever, right? And go lay down. And then you kind of get used to going to sleep at 1 o'clock in the morning instead of 2 and getting up at 8. It's still not great, but it's a slow, kind of gradual adjustment. And then you find, okay, well, I'm going to move it back to midnight until 8. And then you find out, oh, hey, that's 8 hours of sleep and that feels good. Some people require more. Some people maybe don't need quite as much as 8 hours. Usually I think it's 7 to 9 is in the healthy range for most adults. It's not like you're all of a sudden making yourself go, okay, 9 o'clock bedtime and I sleep until, 8 in the morning or whatever, right? You can gradually make these adjustments, whatever it is in your routine. Spirit just gave me the examples of eating and sleeping, especially sleeping. Something else I'm seeing now, do not do this on your own. I'm not a health professional, but I will tell you this. For some of you, there is something to do with your medication, and do not adjust that on your own. You have to have your doctors go ahead, okay? So if that's something that you were thinking of for January, maybe you're like, oh, I don't know if I like this dosage, or I don't know if this particular medication or combination of meds is working for me. I want to maybe try changing this out for this, or taking this at a different time, or this in a smaller amount. Okay, but you need to get your doctor's permission. Don't do that alone. That was like another big thing that Spirit wanted to say. For some of you, you and your medical team, or your health professional, or what do we call that, primary care network or whatever, might be working together to figure out what kind of adjustments you need to make, especially if it has to do with your mental health or your medications. Anyway, let's get into the tarot. Emotions running high, adjustments required. We're going to get a little more info on this too, so no worries. If you think I jumped through that a little too fast, I may have. Okay. I'm getting this image of like a balancing scales gradually coming into balance, gradually becoming equal instead of, drastic change. It's gradual change, okay? It's gentle energy. There's no push. There's no need to rush with these adjustments. I'm hearing have patience for yourself, especially if you're feeling extra emotional lately, or if you become a little extra sensitive or extra emotional during the month of January. That's okay. All right, what else do we have? What else can we get? Ooh, okay, interesting. Okay. I'm very excited about this. We have Ace of Wands and I got brand new project. And well, the wands are often the suit of, the creative works, or the the work where we're putting in our manual labor and actually like working with our hands, etc. However, now some of you might actually be working on a new creative project. Perhaps some of you are artists or writers or musicians or I don't know, whatever. Maybe you build things or you do woodworking or, glass blowing, metalworking, whatever it is. Okay, I do see there are new creative projects, but the main message of this Ace of Wands is actually that you are the new project. And we'll get into why. Okay, Knight of Cups. There's something here about like courting yourself and offering up affection and compassion to yourself. And I'm seeing something about like treating yourself, taking yourself on dates, giving yourself compliments. Like, this is going to sound weird, but I'm getting like flirting with yourself. And it's not in a vain or narcissistic way. It's literally just healthy self-love. I think you're starting to add more of this healthy self-love into your daily routine or into your daily life this month, this January 2025. King of Swords, let's see. Well, okay, I also get like a lot of you who chose this pile, you may be just more analytical and logical, and maybe you have some trouble connecting to your emotions. And that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It's just the way that some people are, and that's okay. But I see something about softening up your own sharp edges with love, with self-care. Okay, ooh, you guys are getting into your self-care era for my pile ones. This is awesome. Let's see what else can we get. Anything else for them to know, Spirit? I love this. Self-care, healing ourselves and loving ourselves. That's my song. I love it. Take it or leave it. Nine of Wands. Yeah, y'all have been so tired. 2024 must have been exhausting for a lot of you. There was a girl or boy. I mean, whatever. Gender doesn't matter. I'll just address you, girl. Yeah, wow. Trauma, and I think the processing of trauma, difficult situations that you just, oh wow, dealt with through 2024. Survival mode is something else I'm hearing. You're healing yourself, okay? Yeah, I think your fight or flight was active like a little bit too much in 2024. And that's not your fault, of course. That's honestly just our body and our brains protecting us. And if anything, show yourself gratitude. Like, hey, brain, hey, nervous system, hey, adrenal glands or whatever. Like, thank you for protecting me. Thank you for trying to help me. I'm not being chased by a lion, though. I just have to pay bills. Anyway, excuse me. I need a drink of water. I'm going to look at the bottom of the deck for you. We have Ace of Cups, and I'm getting breakthrough. Some kind of it's definitely emotional. Some kind of like emotional breakthrough. There's healing. Maybe if some of you are in therapy and you're watching this, you may have some kind of an aha moment or some kind of, again, like breakthrough. That word keeps coming in, so I'm just going to keep saying it. Some kind of breakthrough moment where it's like, oh my God, everything has become clear. Like everything, this makes sense. Everything like adds up. Everything feels right now. I get it. There's this like, wow. And it's going to cause you to extend compassion to yourself. And that's hard for a lot of people to do. And I understand that. And if that's hard for you, that's okay. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you. It's just for whatever reason, people seem to have an easier time extending compassion and grace to others and not to ourselves, even though we are all connected. But you will be required to be kind to yourself during this time, during this month. Oh yeah, Death card, transformation. Okay, Spirit's telling me one more off the bottom and then that's it. We got Death card with transformation and the Sun. So it's like at the end of this transformation. Well, I don't know. Do we ever really stop transforming? I guess Spirit's just saying at the end of this particular season or cycle in life that we've been through, we process the trauma, the pain, the constant fight or flight survival mode. We create more space for joy and happiness. I'm getting the word serotonin. So perhaps there is something, maybe for those of you who are on medication, maybe you are on some kind of like SSRI or SNRI or whatever, and you do end up finding something that works for you and restores that chemical balance in the brain. And then for others of you, it's like there's something, if you're not on medications, whatever, like don't worry. But there's something about what you're doing in the month of January that allows you to heal, and it allows, there's just something about like allowing for this, like again with the serotonin, with the imbalance to become balanced again. Okay. We're gonna get the runes just because we haven't done these in a while on the channel. Volume warning, these are a little loud when I mix them up. I'm gonna have to repaint some of them. They're getting a little bit worn. I've used them so much. Okay. Okay, this first one, Sowilo, it does represent the letter S. It does actually represent the sun, and look how we got the sun card there. That's just confirmation that things are looking up for you. I'm hearing literally like sunny side up, like things are actually, it's like, wow, things are getting so much better for you in January. You went through whatever period of darkness, but finally a little bit of light is starting to come in. Yeah, there's just this like hope. Yeah, I'm just being shown like, I know it's January and it's still kind of the dead of winter, but I'm being shown like springtime imagery where it's like spring brings, I'm hearing spring brings life to the valley. It brings hope to the valley. It brings growth. But there's just hope. Yeah, there's just this overall feeling of hope and just knowing that everything is going to be okay. That the things that you're suffering from maybe right now or have been suffering from, you're not going to suffer from them for much longer. It's going to get better. All right. Then we have the Awaz rune. It looks like an M, but it's actually supposed to be the letter E. Stability. Like this is kind of like the workhorse, which is kind of funny because how many we got? 1, 2, 3 cards with horses on them. That's just a neat little thing I noticed. But yeah, this is like the workhorse. I'm seeing the image of what are they called? The Clydesdale. You know, the ones that they're very big and they have giant hooves and they have like all the fluffy hair kind of around their hooves. They're sort of like the classic plow horse, reliable, tough workhorse because they're so strong and sturdy. And this ties into your reading. I see it because it's like you are, I think in a way, like you are the workhorse, but you are also the field. You are the growth. You are the harvest. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Spirit's like, okay, like dial it back a little bit. Don't go too far with the harvest thing. Not getting too far into the future yet, but you know what I mean though? Like you are the work, you are the worker, and you are the project. You deserve this like consistent, this consistent like long, what is the word I'm looking for? Long-term, long-standing, reliable care. Yeah, Spirit's saying it's time. Take care of yourself the way that you always take care of others. Like you owe this to yourself. Consistent, reliable love and attention, affection, care. Again, with consistency. That is like really coming in strong. This is the month where you start consistently giving yourself, the care that you so desperately need. Okay? Again, this is awesome. I'm very, very excited for you. Wow. Okay. I'm going to just do one more quick question. What is some advice for group 1 as they get into taking care of themselves, making those adjustments, giving themselves compassion and grace, being patient with themselves and their emotions, Is there any other advice, perhaps, that my pile ones, my group ones should know? Oh, yeah. Yes, you're setting yourself up for, I'm getting like a brilliant future. Long-term stability and success. But you know what else I'm getting? Is help is always available to you. Like there's support. Now this is a card of family, happy family. So for some of you, maybe you are very close with your family members, immediate or, you know, otherwise. But family doesn't always mean blood or biological. It can be your chosen family, your adoptive family, the friends around you that have become your family, the community around you where you feel like these people are my family. There's support from these people who love you. And yeah, you don't have to do this alone. It's just, there's long-term, I love this for you, long-term growth, long-term health, long-term wellness, long-term, like, I'm getting something about like personal wealth. I mean, that could be money for some of you, but I mostly feel like this is, oh, Spirit's giving me an interesting visual. Okay. This is like filling a void permanently. If there has been some kind of a hole or a void or something in your life, it's being filled because this is what you were missing. It was the self-love and it was the compassion. It was the self-care. Okay? So I'm very happy for you, Group 1. This is amazing news. I hope this reading was helpful. If you liked this, absolutely give the video a thumbs up or share it or subscribe if you haven't already done so. Private readings are open. You can find the link in the description. And anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'm happy to see you here, and I'll talk to you again next time. Okay, pile 2, group 2, if you chose the One World Tarot or the little amethyst stone, then these are going to be your January 2025 predictions. I'm actually going to do something a little different this time. Normally I just go right into the tarot and start with that, but we're going to start with these oracle cards. This is the Moonology Oracle deck. I'm not an astrologer, but you know what? These cards, they're so beautiful. I got them from a client a few years ago, I think. I love them though, they're gorgeous. And this one fell right out. It's time to release negativity. Okay, we're gonna keep that one, and then I'm gonna purposely pull one more. Ooh, a win-win outcome is forecast. So, release negativity, win-win outcome is forecast. I mean, okay, when you release negativity, you are releasing baggage and energy and stuff that just no longer serves you, and I guess I could see that as a win for sure, because you're no longer bogged down by something that really doesn't need to be there anymore. Now, what else can we get from this? Okay, this is, I don't know, maybe this is silly, maybe not, but I just heard everyone becomes a winner when you drop the loser mentality. I'm getting something about like, it's not a competition. So maybe if you are able to somehow release this like pressure on yourself to be the best, to be perfect, to be the biggest, the brightest, the most beautiful, I don't know, whatever it is that you're putting pressure on yourself, you know, to be, you don't actually have to do that. Yeah, okay, interesting. I get the mental image of like a pageant, like a Miss Universe or something like that, but it's like everybody is the winner, and in fact, it's not really a competition, at least in the example that I'm seeing. It's not really a competition, it's a celebration of the diverse collection of people and the beauty that comes with the diversity and the beauty that comes with you being your unique self, that unique, authentic person that you are. Something about life right now, just, it's not a competition. So let go of that. Let go of that losing mentality. Oh, okay. I think there's something else here. Very, very big. I don't think there's something else. I know there's something else here very, very big with the it's not a competition. Okay. All right. Spirit just gave me the mental image of somebody's Instagram feed, and you're scrolling and you're seeing baby pictures of like sweet, adorable new little babies. You're seeing wedding pictures, just absolutely beautiful and glowing and, brilliant editing. And you're seeing like people's achievements, and you're seeing all these milestones being hit by other people. And you might be feeling like you are falling behind, like you're losing, as if life and meeting milestones and achievements was some kind of a foot race. You're not falling behind at all, actually. Your life's path it's moving along at the speed that it needs to for this time, for your best good. Okay, yeah, it's not a competition. And the people that you're seeing on your feed who are maybe posting all these great things, like, maybe they are genuinely very happy and excited to share it, but you don't know everything that they're experiencing, right? Like that couple that posted the beautiful wedding pictures, maybe they broke up 3, 4, 5 times in their relationship and are just, kind of this unstable off and on kind of thing, and then just decided to tie the knot. Or maybe with the, the beautiful baby pictures, like they don't show pictures of the sleep-deprived parents, They don't show pictures of the 3 a.m. feedings, of the blowout diapers, of the postpartum tears and pain and suffering. There's so much that you're not seeing, and it's skewing your view of your own life. Yeah, ooh, Spirit's calling me out because you know what? I do the same thing. Look at that, there's a wedding there with our 4 of Wands. And the Emperor. We'll get into these more in a second. But yeah, Spirit definitely is calling me out on this one too. So if you do this and you compare your life to your perception of other people's lives, don't feel alone. You're not the only one who does it. Don't judge yourself. Okay, we're going to keep that 9 of Swords, but we're going to put all these other ones back. Yeah, it's not a race. It's not a competition. You're not falling behind. Everybody wins when you drop the losing mindset and you drop the loser label. Okay. Well, let's just get into what we have here. 4 of Wands, Emperor, 9 of Swords. Okay. Yeah, there's something about before you start, berating yourself or your home compared to someone else. It's like, take care of your own home first. Get your house in order. That's what I'm seeing here, is get your own house in order. It's kind of hard to describe. Sometimes words are tough, but that's what it was. Get your own house in order. Get yourself in order. Take care of your own personal affairs before you start worrying about what other people are doing. Clean up your perception of yourself. I'm seeing clean up your image of yourself before you start worrying about other people's image of you, or before you keep relying on other people's view of you for, your validation or feeling like you're good enough, or because it's like, this is your life. Enjoy it. Enjoy your little pocket of this world and this human experience. It's okay if it does not look the same as your neighbors or your friends or your classmates that you graduated with 12, 13 years ago or whatever, right? Like, don't worry about that. Just you think about you and, mind your own little house. I'm being reminded of, it's something in the Bible, I can't remember where. I haven't studied, it's been a long time since I've studied any kind of Christianity or anything, but excuse me, I'm pretty sure there's a story in which Jesus tells somebody to remove the speck from their own eye before they go remove the log from their brother's eye, right? Clean up the way you view yourself and your, position in life before you start longing for what other people have, because I think you're going to find that, excuse me, if you were to know everything that all these other people you're comparing yourself to are going through, you would be like, thank God I'm me. I can handle my stuff. I wouldn't want to be them doing that over there. You know? Okay. Emperor. There's something here about take charge of yourself and take authority over yourself and rule yourself. What this means is that I think for January 2025, this is the month where you start to realize that you are being ruled by other people's perceptions of you. What do you think of yourself? How do you view yourself? How do you want to view yourself? If other people's validation and opinions did not matter at all to you, how would you live your life and what would you do? I'm moving these down just so we can get a better view. With this time to release negativity, with our 9 of Swords, that's our anxiety, that's our worrying, that's our mental anguish that we're inflicting upon ourselves with the constant comparing ourselves to others. It's okay to let that go. Now, I'm not saying that it's not okay to feel jealous and that it's not okay to feel nervous and that it's not okay to question, you know, am I doing enough in life? Like, am I happy with where I am? No, it's okay to reflect on these things, but what's not okay is belittling your own achievements and accomplishments because they are not the same as someone else's, or because they have happened later in life than somebody else's, or because it just looks different than someone else, or just the fact that perhaps you haven't or maybe will not ever achieve a certain thing that somebody else has achieved in life. That's okay. It's okay to feel the sadness and to process it. That's natural. That's just part of being human and having a human brain with its funky brain juice chemicals. But we don't need to stay stuck there, you know? Being ruled by other people's perception of you is part of what's causing you so much anxiety. And this, again, with this like pressure to be perfect, this pressure to be the best, this pressure to be an instant success, that just came in strong. There, I'm guessing a lot of you, because if it came in that strong, it must be lots of you who feel this way, are frustrated because you're making an effort in a certain area, but you're not getting instant results. And maybe your perception of how this certain thing in your life is supposed to turn out is skewed because of, like, again, with the social media. People share their successes, but they don't often share the trial and error it took to get to the success, you know? Like, let's just say, for example, somebody has published a book and you are so super jealous of them because you really would love that. That's like something you would love to do in life. They post all about the, you know, oh, the launch party and oh, we're published and like, oh my God, like here's where you can get my book. Like here's, you know, you can review it here, et cetera, and a picture, you know, maybe the person is posting a picture of themselves holding the signed copy of their own book. They're posting that, but they probably didn't post the 7, 8, 9, 10, however many years worth of rejection letters. They don't necessarily post about how many editors or publishers have completely ghosted them. They don't necessarily post about the scrapped manuscripts and the scrapped and unread like documents that you're never going to see. You know, they're not going to show you necessarily all of the failures that led up to this one success. So, you know, when a person doesn't know this, when we don't see this, we just see, oh, they published a book and it's become a bestseller or whatever. And maybe, you know, you start getting into creative writing and maybe you start something and you send it off to an editor or, you know, to someone, or you try to get an agent or something like that, and you get your first rejection. You think, oh my God, I have failed and then you kind of go down this like spiral of, failure and self, I guess like self, I don't want to say self-hatred, but like self, judging and chastising. Anyway, the person who's published their book and is showing this like great success on the surface, point is, you don't know how they got there and the journey it took and the amount of perhaps of pain, blood, sweat, tears, etc. that it took for them to get there, right? And it doesn't necessarily have to just be with a book. That's the example that Spirit gave me. Another example that I got to be careful with this one because it can be very distressing or very triggering for some people. But like, let's say a classmate of yours or your best friend or somebody has a baby and they post a picture of this absolutely gorgeous little new baby. And perhaps that's something you want in life that you just aren't in a position to have yet. They'll post, those beautiful baby pictures, and some parents have, monthly update. Oh, my girl is 6 months old and she can do this and she can do that. And, oh, he's 9 months old. My son has said his first word, etc. We see that, but we don't see the pregnancy losses. A lot of people don't share that. Or the amount of negative pregnancy tests. This is maybe it's somebody's first baby, but it's not their first pregnancy. Do you know what I mean? And if you were to know that, you would suddenly not be so jealous. You would have this understanding of, okay, I see they're not just bragging, like they're genuinely celebrating and they really struggled and had to work for this, right? It's not like everything was instantly perfect on the very first try, on the very first go. Maybe for some people, but generally that's not how it works, okay? We're just seeing the end result of people's, successes. We're not seeing the journey. Okay, and on the bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant, and it's upside down. Hierophant is interesting because I get this one to actually mean like technology or social media, I guess, in a way. The Hierophant normally is all about existing societal structures or institutions. Like you see here, we have a city hall, we have a courthouse, we have a church. I mean, this could be a university, it could be a whatever, right? I also see it as, let's say, for example, social media. So like, let's say Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Reddit, whatever, right? It's in the reverse. It's skewed. You're not seeing the truth. And I'm not like calling people out and being like, oh, you're not being authentic, you're only posting the good, because everybody does it. Everybody does it. You might get the odd person who shares their struggles in an effort to show others that they're not alone, but that doesn't happen very often, right? We kind of have this like tipped upside down, skewed perception of what life is supposed to be like, thanks very much in part to social media and its effects on, well, our lives, our emotions, our brains, our lives, okay? We're actually gonna keep this Hierophant and we're gonna put it right up there at the top. Let's see what else we can get with the tarot for you guys. Oop. Okay, here we go. I was instructed to take two that fell out. We got Empress and we got Justice. This thing that you have that you want, or the feeling of achieving something, the feeling of like growing something, working for something, and then finally seeing it, you will have it, okay? So, I mean, for those of you who really want to be parents and you keep seeing all these lovely baby pictures and happy family pictures, if that is something you sincerely want in your heart, Spirit knows that. And this message is saying you can have that. It may not be right now, or it may not be in a way that looks the same as what everybody else around you is doing, but you will have that. It doesn't have to just be babies or family or, you know, marriage or whatever. It's whatever it is, right? That you, what am I trying to say? Basically, okay, you're getting whatever it is in life that you want, you will get in this situation. But also, it's funny. You want this extra validation from everybody, and you want the accolades, and you want the encouragement and the support, and you want everybody to see you succeed, and that's okay. That's natural. That is absolutely normal human behavior. Totally. I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that, but we see what happens when it goes too far, right? We've just went over that. You can have that if you want it, the accolades and the praise and the recognition from others, but Spirit's saying this, words are hard. It will be just as fulfilling if you were the only one who gave yourself the credit and the recognition, okay? You're gonna find that other people's like approval, I guess, of what you're doing in life. Oh, wow, like she really has done something with her life. Like you're not actually going to need it anymore, but it's a slow process and it's starting now though, okay? We're gonna get into the runes. Volume warning, they're a little loud when I mix them up. Anything else for January 2025? Okay, we have Perthrow, the Perthrow rune, letter P. Oh, I'm just probably holding it up the wrong way. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. This one is about like hidden information and secrets and truth that you may not be aware of. It really reminds me a lot of this High Priestess card, which I'm surprised she hasn't come up at all in this one, but it's just verifying to you that there's so much about other people's lives and successes that we don't see. We see the highlights. We don't see their pits of despair. We don't see their hopeless moments. We don't see their confusion, their uncertainty, and their stress. Okay? Let's see, is there anything else for group 2? I almost said group 3. I'm getting ahead of myself. Is there anything else for group 2 to know for January? Ooh. I'm hearing something about curb your disappointment. Normally the expression is curb your enthusiasm, but no, this time it's curb your disappointment. Just acknowledge that you feel it sometimes when it comes up and it's there, and you know, that's okay. That's just part of being a human, like I said earlier, with the human brain and emotions and stuff, but you don't have to like live there. You don't have to be stuck there. You can acknowledge it. Oh, hey, disappointment, welcome. I see you've snuck in, but you know, you can't stay long. I'm busy. I got other stuff to do. Curb your disappointment. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? Let's just do one more. Spirit's telling me to look at the bottom. Page of Cups. Take pride in your accomplishments, even if nobody else notices. Take pride in the accomplishments that are meaningful to you, even if you don't think they'd be meaningful to someone else. The small victories for you are just as important as the big victories that other people experience, and are just as important as the big victories that you experience. It's all right. It's okay to just kind of take this as a slow process. You know, perhaps maybe you're dealing with an illness or like a mental health thing, and your victory that day in the day or whatever is like, hey, I got out of bed. Or like, hey, I had a shower and washed my hair. You know, to other people that might seem really small and insignificant, but for some that's big. Celebrate that. If that, you know, and it doesn't have to be those specific examples, but you know what I mean? Like small little achievements like that, Celebrate them as if they were the great big achievements, the grand things, the beautiful wedding, the beautiful baby, the new car, the published book, whatever it is, right? Celebrate those small things as if they were those big things. And I think that's what's starting for you this month. This is a very exciting journey for you guys. I'm very happy for you. I'm very proud of you. I know how hard this is, to the journey of like accepting yourself and validating yourself and moving away from comparison and moving away from other people's approval of you and perception of you. That's really hard. So absolute kudos, mad respect to you. You can do this. You got this. You're not alone. I deal with this too. It's a process. We're all going to learn and get through this together. So that was your reading, group 2, pile 2. I hope that was helpful to you. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up or share or subscribe if you haven't already done so. You know the drill, you know how it goes. Private readings are open. You can find the link in the description to book. And I guess if you liked my bracelets, you can go to Otter Spirit. The link is in the description there. The One World Tarot, if you liked this deck and want to find out where to get it, again, link in the description. And that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again very soon. All right, so group 3, pile 3, if you chose the Housewives Tarot and this little red stone, I think it's a carnelian, but I could be wrong. I'm not a gemologist. If you know the proper name for this, I think it is carnelian, but correct me in the comments. Anyway. This is your reading. These are going to be your predictions for January 2025. Actually, for the last 2 groups, I thought I would do something different and just start with the oracle cards. And we're going to do that again for this one because it's actually been quite fun. It's different than my usual formula. So let's see what we get with the oracle cards. This is the Moonology Oracle deck by Yasmin Boland. Beautiful deck. Love it. I'm not an astrologer, but I'm still so attached to this deck. It's beautiful. It has great messages, and I don't know. Anyway, let's see what we can get for your January 2025 predictions with the Oracle. Okay, prosperity lies ahead. That's nice. That's good. But communication is key. Okay. Ask for what you want. Yeah. I'm getting asking it is given. Knock and the door will be open. There's just something here about like you won't get what you want if you don't ask for it or if you don't ask for help with it. But yeah, this prosperity lies ahead. I love this for you. Yeah, maybe there's something you're doing or something you're going to be working on perhaps for January that, you could do it alone and get an okay result. But if you were to get support from someone else and communicate your needs to someone else, like you would end up with a better result. Anyway, let's get into the tarot and see what kind of messages we can get from that. Okay, yeah, Spirit's giving me an example, at least for this prosperity lies ahead and communication is key. Perhaps like you're working on an art project, because that's the example that I was kind of given here. You're working on some kind of an art project and there's like a technique that you're new to perhaps, and you're not totally well versed in it yet, but you want to try it and you want to use it on this project. Like you could just go ahead and try it yourself or try to teach yourself, and it would still have a good result. But if you were to ask for advice from somebody who is really good at that technique, they could show you perhaps an easier way or a quicker or a more efficient way to do it. Or they could explain it to you in a way that makes so much more sense than it would if you were to just try and teach yourself. And then you end up with something even better as a result. Just one example. But definitely, it's okay to ask for what you need. And it's okay to ask for what you want, and it's okay to ask for help. I also noticed that we have 2 new moon cards there, so that's kind of a fun little synchronicity. We got a Knight of Cups that came out. We're going to keep it. We're going to pull a few more, and then we'll get right into the tarot. Okay. Interesting. Okay. We'll pull more cards eventually, but first I just want to say that this Knight of Cups, Magician, and Tower together, excuse me, wow, frog in the throat today. It's saying be careful who you accept help from. Or, you know, be careful who you ask for help. We have somebody may come up with, you know, a way of like teaching you to do something or giving you advice or giving some kind of crucial input that, let's go back to the art project example that Spirit gave us earlier, where there's this technique that you could figure out on your own, but it would go a little bit better, you know, if you were to get help from somebody who knows what they're doing with the technique. Just be careful who you ask, because someone may be like really very helpful and offer up a lot of information and perhaps like really encourage you and you know, gas you up and make you feel good emotionally, but there could be strings attached, like some kind of a manipulation here with this Magician. And then we have the Tower, where it could end up, something could end up becoming much more complicated than it needs to be. So let's just say with the art project example, they give you some advice, and then all of a sudden, like maybe you're in art school or something like that, and this person gives you the advice, you take the advice, you use it, you come up with something beautiful, but then they turn around and are like, well, you kind of stole my work because that is my technique that I showed you. Or they're like, well, you need to credit me for that because you wouldn't have gotten that grade, or, you know, your painting wouldn't have looked that good without my input and my influence. And then things with the Tower just become very complicated. Like perhaps it was, you know, if they're demanding credit for it or something, maybe it was a project that you weren't really supposed to get help or collaborate with others, but you were just only looking for advice. Then all of a sudden, you know, maybe you got to turn in something else, or I don't know. But with that Tower, it's just be careful. You don't want to end up, I'm just seeing something about like belly up and having to start over. We'll just do a couple more tarot cards and see what else this is saying. What else we can get for information. So it's okay to ask for help and accept help, but be careful who it's from. So let's get more info on that. I want to clarify this Tower. 8 of Cups. Oh, something else that this could be. Again, we could still use the art example, but this can apply to a great many different kind of scenarios. But maybe you get a little bit of like too much of somebody's influence, where this thing that you're trying to create and do is no longer yours, right? You know, maybe you're trying to perhaps write a book or something, and somebody helps you with like editing a certain part, or helps you with, well, what if you put it this way? What if you worded it this way? Or like helps you in some way and then turns around and is like, nope, you know, I get this % of creative control now because you wouldn't have this without me. You wouldn't have made this progress without my help. Or like, oh, I'm getting, you know, the lion's share of the royalties now because I did this significant part for you and all you did was just put the ideas together. I'm the one who helped you word everything. Or, you know, it just all of a sudden just isn't yours anymore, and it's becoming removed from what you initially envisioned. So let's see, what should we look for then? Like, what kinds of people should we be asking for help and, you know, expressing our needs to? Who can we trust? All right, well, Lover's card. The people that you love and the people that you know who love you. This could be your family, whether that's your blood family or adoptive family or chosen family. It could be like a spouse or a romantic partner. But it's people who do truly have your best interest at heart. People who are close to you and they want you to succeed. They don't want to ride the coattail of your success, whatever it is that's happening here. Because we do have prosperity lies ahead. There's something you're doing that is like, it is either going to pay big bucks, or it's going to become very well known or very popular, or it's going to, you know, become quite big. Okay, we got High Priestess. I'm going to pull one more. Yeah, Two of Cups, High Priestess, Lovers. Okay, High Priestess. Perhaps it's, I'm getting something about like the masters. Like, you know, maybe, again with the art example, that is like the super strongest example that keeps coming in, is like the art or the book or whatever. Maybe instead of asking a person, like let's say again, you're in art school or something, instead of asking a classmate for help, maybe you're going to another professor. You know, could be the one that has assigned the thing to you, or it could be someone else in the faculty that knows exactly what you are supposed to do, and you know, knows how to help you get there. And your education and your success is in their best interest. I'm also just seeing like you could take it back even further. Like let's say you're trying to learn, let's just go with like impressionism, like an impressionist painting. You don't really know much about the technique. You're trying to learn it. Now keep in mind all of this that I'm saying, like this is all figurative. It could be literal for some of you, but I think it's going to be figurative for the most part. Anyway, you're trying to learn like impressionist painting technique, but you don't really know how. So, and maybe instead of going to, again, like a classmate or someone for help with it, you do some research on some of the most, you know, successful or best known painters who were like known for their impressionist paintings, right? And learning about the techniques maybe that they used, or studying their paintings and finding, oh, okay, I noticed in this painting, this artist did that, and in their next painting, they did the same kind of thing. And you know, you notice the patterns and stuff. Something about that, like going to the masters. And also, again, family, loved ones, those who want you to succeed but don't have any strings attached with it. And then we have Two of Cups, people that you've mutually agreed to work with. So like if it is a group project, let's say, for example, people just within that group, not necessarily people from other groups, because then you could get the, well, you need to give me credit, and, oh, well, you know, that's actually my work and not their work. You know how it goes. Anyway, yeah, something about people that you have a mutual understood agreement with, that this is your role, this is how you help me, this is what I give to you in return for helping me. With the book example, actually, it could be like, instead of going to an external source or third party for advice, like maybe you're already working with an editor, and you just keep your communications between you and the editor or the person or the publisher or whatever that you're working with, instead of looking outwards to somebody else who is not involved. Okay, this is, I was going to ask Spirit, like, in what other ways in life could this apply? And Spirit gave me a kind of an extreme example, okay? That doesn't have to do with the art project metaphor or the book or, you know, whatever example. Let's say somebody helped you get a really, really good paying job, okay? And they actually don't have your best interest at heart, and they want a piece of the pie. Well, I helped you get the job, so you should give me a certain percentage, this cut of your first paycheck. Like, that's unreasonable for someone to ask of you, number one. But, you know, number two, it just kind of shows like that not everybody who offers help is doing it out of kindness. Whereas if you were to go to perhaps a job board or like a temp agency or some other kind of professional agency where it's agreed upon, hey, I help you do this, and in return, this is what you need to do for me. And they help you get this really well-paying job, they're not going to necessarily ask that of you. I don't think they do. I don't really have much experience with those things, but and if they do, there's a reason for it that you would have already agreed to, as opposed to Joe Schmo, the neighbor, who's like, hey, I helped you get that job. Give me $500 off your check, or give me the credit or whatever. So that's a pretty extreme example, but something about be careful. There's something about I'm seeing you taking like a delicious pie out of the oven. In the cartoons they put it out on the windowsill, and it's like, be careful, because it's a delicious pie, and a lot of people want a piece of it, but they're not going to be upfront about that when they help you to get the ingredients for the pie or help you to make the pie. All right, let's see. Anything else from the tarot? Yeah, I'm seeing something about like a solo project with the Hermit. Let's just see what else. Page of Swords. Yeah, okay. All right. There's also this message. You know how the saying, too many cooks spoil the soup? There's something about whatever it is that you're working on that's going to lead to this prosperity, whatever it is in your life that you're doing. It could be an actual project. It could just be maybe something more internal and everybody else just wants to benefit from it. Some things you may have to keep to yourself for a little while, some details, but it's okay to consult, like how we had with the art analogy, where it's like, maybe don't go to that classmate or somebody from that other group, but maybe go to a professor or, somebody who is not involved directly and is not going to be affected either way by what you're doing and the outcome of it. Or like with the book example or the temp agency or whatever example, someone that you've already agreed to work with, and there's an understanding that if they help you, you may give something in return, right? Something that you were already aware of going in. Just limit the interactions about whatever it is you're doing with like those kind of people. Or with this Lovers, like you have to be careful with this one though, because maybe you really are excited about this thing you're working on and you want to, for example, maybe go tell your mom about it. She gets excited and she goes and tells her friend, and her friend is like, oh, that's great, I'm going to go tell my daughter about that, and then word kind of goes around, and then all of a sudden everybody kind of wants to, I'm getting this, is there a saying, something about like fingers in many pies? Everybody wants to put their finger in, I almost said in your pie, and I feel like that could be taken in a very dirty way. But you know what I mean though? Like everybody wants, if there's something you got to keep to yourself for the time being, or else you're going to have too many people wanting to be involved, and then something gets, ruined. Too many cooks spoil the soup, or too many people are involved and all of a sudden it's no longer yours, right? There's something happening here that it's just for you. Okay, well, let's see, what should pile 3, group 3 do then? Because we have, like, be careful who you tell and the kinds of people that you could be able to trust with this, but what else should they do? What else should group 3 do? Okay. There's something here with Two of Pentacles about working on that and then maintaining like aspects of your regular life as well, and just keeping a good balance of those things. And then we have Six of Wands, like there's a victory there. You guys have a whole bunch of tarot cards for this one. Pentacles are actually like the slowest moving of the suits. And with this Two of Pentacles, perhaps this is just saying, just take your time with whatever it is you're working on. And, you know, take your time with vetting who to trust for help, or, you know, who to collaborate with. I don't think there's really a huge need to rush this process. And like, it will turn out much better if you just kind of take it slow. And, you know, I'm hearing something about don't give too much away. Don't give too much information just yet. There's something about just quietly working on this in the background while you're doing other stuff in your regular life. And like, it works out much better this way. Okay. Volume warning. We're going to just get into runes here. They're noisy when I shake them up and mix them around, but let's see what we can get. Okay. We have the Gable rune. And I mean, it looks like letter X. That could be significant to you. Gable rune, this is like gift. A gift. And with this prosperity, that makes sense. Like Spirit wants you to, there's something you're working on, like I said, there's something you're working on or you're doing, and Spirit wants you to become very successful, but it's like, it's yours. It's your prize. Like I'm seeing something about like, it's your prize, it's your trophy, and you don't have to share it. And you could if you wanted to, but you don't have to. This success and this like richness, I'm getting that word richness now. That, I mean, that could be financial, but it could just, anyway, be like fulfillment or anyway, there's a lot of different kinds of success, but like, it's all yours, right? If you didn't want to share it, that would be okay. Oh, okay. This is another extreme example, but Spirit's showing me, okay, well, think about the lottery. Think about some people who win the lottery and they have to move away because all of a sudden all these people come out of the woodwork. Hey, I helped you with X, Y, and Z, 10 years ago. I think you owe me. Or like, hey, we've been friends since childhood, and I'm looking for an investor in this thing, and while it's not necessarily like wrong to ask for help like that, some people, you can tell when some people just don't have good intentions and when some people just want to use you, right? Where some people who do win, they do want to share it with their friends and their community, and that's totally fine. And some people who win, they want to save it and be smart with it, or invest it, or, put it away in some kind of, account or something where it will be safe and not be taken from and not be taken advantage of. Yeah, I think for you guys have been taken advantage of a lot in life. And I think it is because you have a generous nature, and Spirit saying this time, this is for you. Now we're going to get into this next rune. This is the Fehu rune, letter F. So, I mean, F could be significant to you in some way. I think Gable rune, I know it looks like an X, but I think it's supposed to be the letter G. So, I mean, let's just say G, X, and F. Those could be significant to you. Anyway, Fehu this is about, it is wealth. In the guidebook, it literally says cattle. And look at how we have a bull here. And how maybe traditionally, somebody's wealth could be measured in, well, what, this person has this many cows on their farm, like they're worth a lot. There's something coming to you that is it's big. It is big. I think it is financial. And it's exciting because there's something about like this month, or like you're maybe perhaps taking the steps towards this big thing this month. That could be it as well. But wow. And it's just for you. Ask for help. Totally. You know what? Let's go back to that lottery example. Ask and with like the masters and etc. Maybe instead of asking your friend who is frugal and good with money, or your friend who does Forex trading or whatever, instead of asking them for the financial advice, go to a professional who is not going to want anything in return other than the fee or whatever you've already agreed upon that you're already aware of, right? This is whatever is coming for you. It's huge and it's special and it's just for you. And Spirit's saying nobody should be able to take advantage of you. Do not let people take advantage of you. Be careful who you ask for help in this situation. Don't give too much information away. Keep living your regular life and like there's something about taking your time with this, like this project or this situation, whatever it is, and you'll have a much better outcome when you ask for help and trust the right people than if you were to either just go ahead and try figuring it out on your own or asking people who have bad intentions. Okay, so that's the reading I have for you, Group 3. I really hope that it was helpful. I really hope it resonated and made some kind of sense to you, because this was a pretty intense message. That was pretty big, and Spirit gave us like some pretty extreme, examples here, but let me know what happens in the future, what comes of this. I'm actually very excited for you guys, and the energy that surrounds us, like, it is really good. It's just saying it's so special. You just have to protect it and protect yourself, right? Anyway, if you liked this reading, you could hit the thumbs up button or share with a friend or subscribe. I mean, you know the whole drill. I don't even have to tell you what to do, but private readings are open if you wanted to maybe look at this in more detail or in a more personalized way. The link is in the description. If you liked my bracelets, they came from Otter Spirit, and the link to their store is in the description as well. And I'm so thankful that you came here to watch this. And if you watched this far, like, I'm even more thankful. And I'm really glad you're here. And I will see you again in the next video.